So this is an example, but this is actually a couple of messages of a single protocol that is implemented by the wallets. Our work also involved the analysis of these bytes that get exchanged and the extraction of the protocols. So the wallets actually implement a series of protocols every time they operate. Of course, I'm not going to that detail because I don't think it's really easy to give a talk based on bytes. But I'm going to give a higher level view of what's going on. So let's see the protocols. We have 4 protocols that get executed always. That applies to both hardware devices, Nano and Nano S. There are a few differences, so the differences are highlighted with where I say Nano or Nano S. So we have the setup protocol, which is basically the initialization of the wallet, the generation of the keys, setting up the security parameters. We have the Alike protocol, which is the protocol that gets executed every single time you connect the device to an active API, but there's no need for the user to authenticate for that protocol. Please remember what I said now. And then we have the login protocol, the user authenticates the device, and finally we have the payment protocol. So it's actually when the domain processes the transaction, signs it, etc. Let's have a closer look to the protocols now. Let's go to the setup protocol. So quite a few things are wrong here. I'll start with Nano. So once more repeat, we have a hardware device which is tamper resistant, which we pay lots of money to manage our keys, right? And we expect the device to generate the keys. We expect the device to generate the master seed. Well, it doesn't. The API actually generated the master seed, sent it to the device in clear, also sent the user's PIN and set it up the security parameters of the wallet. So the security parameters define how the wallet operates, whether the wallet needs a second factor authentication, whether it needs PIN, etc. In the case of Nano S, the master seed was generated on board, which is good news for the users, bad news for me. But in both cases, the master public key here was sent to the API. So, okay, what's wrong with that? I mean, it's just a public key, it's supposed to be public, but no. Access to that key means that you can actually generate all public keys of the account, because according to BIP32, you don't need a secret key to generate a public key, you just need the parent public key. That means you can track all transactions of the account, all of them. So privacy is lost here. Let's go to the next protocol now. It's the Alike protocol. It's the protocol that gets executed whenever we plug in the device. Boring, right? No. Well, it's not boring though, because after a closer look, okay, we have an attestation check for Nano. Good news for them. It doesn't, so the attestation check doesn't, they don't implement an attestation check for Nano S. Bad news for Nano S. But let's see what we have here. So we have several public keys. They're actually public keys exchanged during that communication. So after closer look and a bit of analysis of the API, we found out that this key is actually an encryption key. So what's going on here? Ledger and many other companies have a key store, key store. They call it key store. It's a data set where they store keys online on their servers. So they actually store, they pre-generate a set of public keys. They store it online, and whenever the user wants a new address, they just query that key store and get the new address. That's actually for reasons, for time reasons, because if the user is like a bank or a shop and needs I don't know, I can imagine it's like a huge set of keys within minutes. Generating the keys on the fly will cause delays. So we have a key store where they store all these public keys. This key store is encrypted. So you can imagine now what's the encryption key we found out here. It's actually the encryption key of the key store, which is again sent in plain text. So what's the problem here? Well, we have access to the key store. Again, we have privacy attacks. And well, if the adversary is very persistent, he can most probably do other things as well, like swapping keys. Didn't do anything like that. I'm just assuming possible attacks here. Going to the login protocol. So this protocol is only executed on the Nano device because the Nano has the user logs in directly through the device. So again, we have the PIN and the security parameters of the wallet being sent in the clear from the API to the dongle. And finally, we have the payment protocol, which is responsible for the transactions of the payment. So the API sends the input funds and the amount of the input funds and the addresses to the dongle. So this is not a traditional way to send the inputs. It's a good way though. So they implement the segregated witness where the inputs are get signed by the dongle in order for the API to check that the dongle actually had the correct inputs. And then they form the transaction. So before the dongle signs the transaction, it requires from the user to verify either part of the address, if it has a string, or 4 characters of the address. If the verification goes well, the dongle signs the transaction and returns the signature to the API. So let's go back to the security parameters the city provide. So we have authentication, we have integrity of transactions, we have secure key storage, and then we have smart cards. So based on our analysis, well, yeah, this is not that secure as they claim. The worst part is that the attacks that we have actually implemented are not known to the user. So the user actually believes that everything is going well, and his transactions are secure, and the payments went to the correct address. I'll give an example of how the attacks are performed using the payment protocol. So first we were able to disable the second factor authentication. That is done through the security parameters. But you need access to the setup protocol in order to do that. Let's say that the adversary doesn't have access to the setup protocol, but he can have access. I'll show you how. It's pretty easy to learn actually the security card, the mappings, because the dongle will always request at least a new character from the previous transaction. So the adversary sits here, just listens to the communications and learns the mappings. So, okay, we don't have any problem with the second factor authentication. Now, let's steal the money. So the user sends a request to do this payment. He would like to send half a Bitcoin to this address. The API checks with the network to see whether the user has the available funds, sees that, well, yeah, I do have the available funds, let's do it. Sends the inputs to the adversary. The adversary now sees that the user has 3 Bitcoins available, but he doesn't do anything. And then the API sends the outputs to the dongle. The adversary, who is sitting there, relays the communication, changes the address, changes the amount, and now he requests for the full amount of all the funds of the account, and provides his own address. Since we have disabled second factor authentication, the dongle returns the signature, and since we don't want the user to know, we just pick 4 random addresses, 4 random characters from the address and request a verification from the user. Well, the user verifies the characters, and we post the signature on the network. So the user never knows. He still thinks that everything's going well. Let's see what's going on NanoS. So in NanoS, the dongle actually asks a verification directly from the screen. So it provides the first and the last characters of the address and requests from the user to press a button if the characters of the address are correct. So what's the problem here? We have Haskell comparison. So yeah, the user can actually see part of the address, but previous research has shown that there's a significant 15% of failure of error rate in comparing hashes, in comparing 4-digit hashes. So in that case, the adversary will try again and again and again and again. Maybe at some point, the user will fall in this percentage here and accept the wrong address. Some more attacks. So as I said before, in order to have access to the master's secret key, in order to have access to the security parameters, we need access to the setup protocol. And how can we actually do that? Well, we can't do that. So since we can actually talk directly to the dongle, just send messages to the dongle,